Hey, do you want to get involved in real estate, but you don't know where to start? Or are you thinking of transitioning from your current job and maybe going part-time or full-time into real estate? Have you watched HGTV, maybe House Hunters, and think, man, I can be the next real estate superstar? So I have good news for you. Whichever decision you're making or whatever's going through your head, I'm gonna go over the top 5 mistakes that new real estate agents do.
Wicked and weakness, you gotta see this.
All right, number 1 is making sure you're financially stable. Real estate is your own business where you're starting from the ground up. And real estate is a long-term play, and it's not for everyone. Don't be fooled by your friends telling you it's easy, or if you watch a TV show, look how much money they're making, look at my fancy car, look at my lifestyle. Don't be fooled by the smoke and mirrors. So especially in real estate, you need, or what was recommended to me was at least 6 months reserves, because you need to make sure that you can pay the bills in case you don't make any sales within those few months. If you have a family, that's another big thing, is if you have kids to take care of, or you have bills that come every month, and that's going to put you in financial hardship. And what you don't want is being completely stressed out. You don't know how you're going to pay your bills, and then you're going to be stuck. And like I said, real estate is a long-term play where all the hard work that you're putting in today may not be able to show up until 2 months later, 3 months later, when you get a call out of the blue, or you're making your phone calls in the morning and they happen to pick up and say, hey, yes, I'm interested in whatever you want. It's very different as far as the mentality for a 9-to-5, where you are exchanging your time for money. It's not for everyone, and depending on what type of work you've been doing in the past, that's going to define whether you can stick it out. There's a lot of things where personally you need to be able to talk to people, be able to be a good communicator, and make sure you can understand their situation and show them how you can help them, whether you help them buy a house, sell a house, or whatever the situation might be. But being financially prepared in case the worst case scenario you don't make any sales. For me, I'll explain it in later videos, kind of how I got my start and how I was able to save up money where I can jump full-time into real estate. And you need to make sure that you are ready for a roller coaster, because you are going to have those months where you make maybe 3 to 5 sales in that 1 month, and then for the next month or two you may not have anything, and then out of the blue again your phone will just start ringing, or again you're going to make those phone calls and people are going to be interested at that time. So in real estate, the opportunity is always there if you're willing to work for it. My recommendation is, if you are jumping into real estate full-time, you either live with family where they can take care of some of the expenses from a month-to-month basis, or if you have a spouse that you're living with and they have consistent income, that will take care of some of the stress in case you don't make your sales. And really, because you're starting from the ground up, people don't know you, they don't like you, and they don't trust you. The biggest part is going to be your marketing, whether you're making phone calls, putting out signs, digital media, old-fashioned door knocking, things like that. How are people going to know you? And really, when it comes to the financial aspect of it, is the fact that you have more than 6 months reserves. That means you have about 6 months of working as hard as you can before your results start kind of showing up. For me, I was lucky. My first 2 weeks, I felt like I was working real hard and not seeing any of the results. Towards the end of my 2nd month, boom, I ended up getting a sale. And really, I didn't know where it came from, how it happened, but it just did. And so that isn't very common. Most people go 4 to 6 months without seeing anything. And after I made my first sale, that next month, I was able to get 3 more sales that same month. And the way that happened was, it's a follow-up game. And so with me, with the first brokerage that I was with, we were able to close houses within a week and a half. And that's a little bit different than traditional real estate. But for me, I was able to get a paycheck consistently every couple weeks. And for me, that was very convenient for me. And on the other hand, there's people I know who, when they started real estate, they had a tough time generating momentum as far as being able to market to people and get the results from their efforts. And so in traditional real estate, you have a period where for buyers, they're looking at houses that can take up to a month or even longer. And then you have to wait a traditional 30 days for the lending process to go through. The lender's gonna say everything's okay, and then they're gonna move forward, they're gonna close, and then you're gonna wait another few weeks for your brokerage to pay you. That's kind of how it works. And so do you have enough money saved up to carry you over the next few weeks, few months, throughout the year? Because like I said, real estate is a roller coaster, and you need to make sure you are prepared to handle the ups and downs of it. And don't get into real estate thinking it's going to be an easy job, or things that you've seen and maybe heard from other people. Every person's going to be different. Your personality, your skill sets, everything that kind of makes you who you are, you need to be able to tie that into real estate and be able to communicate effectively to others, where they can know, like, and trust you, and they can decide whether they want to move forward to do business with you or not. So if you're someone who gets stressed out easy and they give up, don't get into real estate. Especially when it comes to financial stress, that's the biggest thing that sets people apart from being able to stay in real estate long term. Most people, they give up within 3 to 6 months is because they don't have any reserves, and they have to go back to getting a regular job. And that's where the negative notion of, oh, don't get into real estate, you're not going to make any money, don't do it, that's where all the discouragement comes from, is because they weren't financially prepared for those ups and downs. Number 2 is taking advice from multiple coaches. And I get it. A lot of people say the more advice that you have, the more you can be prepared to handle various situations. You have multiple coaches. There are times where one coach will say something and it can potentially counteract with what another coach is telling you. And so by doing that, it will leave you confused, where you don't know where to start, or you're gonna say, hey, this specific process doesn't work. Let me go try another coach's advice and see if it works for me. So really, again, for me personally, listening to one person and being able to follow through with their methods of getting you from point A to point B. Try their method first, however long it takes, and whenever you try it 100% with 100% effort and you don't get the results you're looking for, go ahead and try another method. What most people will do is, let me go watch some YouTube videos, let me go reach out to this top guy, let me go reach out to that guy. And again, every single person's different. The way they built up their business or got to where they are in their field, that is what worked best for them. And so depending on what type of personality you have, again, what kind of skill sets that you already have or you may need to refine to get better, that's gonna pretty much make or break you. And so you need to know what type of personality you are and how you learn best. And so most people, at least for me, I need to see it about 1,000 times. I need to physically do it 1,000 times, and I need to be submerged in the whole environment. For example, with school, taking online classes, in my head, I thought I can do it. I'm pretty smart. I thought I can get through it, but I get distracted easily, and it didn't work out for me. I ended up retaking that same class in person, doing great, and that's kind of what worked best for me. and being able to make sure that you do something, being truthful with yourself on your learning styles, on what works best and what doesn't, that's very helpful to know. Because again, what works best for one person may not work best for another person. And what a lot of people do is they're going to compare themselves to someone who's less or greater than they are. And they're going to base their decisions and opinions off that. Okay. Some people can excel very quick in a short amount of time. Others, it might take a little bit more time to understand how things work. And it doesn't mean you're dumb or whatever. It just means that you need to find the right method that you can learn best. And by having multiple coaches and what worked best for them, you need to make sure that your learning styles are compatible to you. Number 3, don't expect immediate success. Most people, when you are thinking about getting into real estate, you listen to your friends, family, watch TV, watch YouTube videos, whatever it might be. You're going to get your information from all different sources. And what you want to hear in your head is, go ahead and join real estate. You're going to make tons of money. It's going to be easy. You're great at talking to people. But realistically, it's not going to be that easy. When it comes to understanding the psychology of how people think and how they make decisions, you have a lot to learn. For me, I enjoy talking to people in person. That way I can understand, their body language, how they're feeling, and react accordingly. Some people are good at talking on the phones. They can gauge the conversation. Don't like being in front of people who don't like talking on the phone, and they prefer to be just on the keyboard at a computer working and doing their marketing that way. And then they're just going to receive an inbound phone call and kind of handle the process from there. And so depending on what your expectations are, that's going to be a big thing. Don't let others kind of fill your brain with BS, thinking that everything's going to be easy and just handed to you. Because think about it again. You're starting your own business from scratch, and maybe you've watched TV shows and you watched everything out there, and you already have that pre-existing mindset that it's going to be easy. Nothing's ever easy. And there's always that saying where the harder you work, the more luckier you get. And really that's kind of where it comes into. All the hard work that you put in today may show off tomorrow or may not. Something might happen 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, or maybe 6 months from now, where someone's ready to make their decision and they want to move forward in doing business with you. So really you want to get rid of all expectations, take each day step by step, and listen to your mentor, coach, or whoever, and kind of be honest with yourself on what it takes to be successful. If you are not used to setting a goal and making sure you have the right habits to achieve that goal, if you're not used to doing that, for example, I always bring up the gym, for example, you want to lose 10 pounds. Everyone wants to lose 10 pounds just to look better, but psychologically, what needs to happen? Everything comes down to your personality. Are you the type of person to wake up in the morning and have a routine before you actually get out of the house? Or are you a person who wakes up maybe 10 minutes before work and just gets out, and you look messy, you look bummy, and then you get to work and you have a low performance, and nothing ever works out for you, and then you want to get into real estate? So you need to make sure what your expectations are, and be prepared for the daily grind. So that's kind of it. And another mistake that new agents might run into are focusing on activities that don't produce income. For example, just because you go to the library for 5 hours doesn't mean you're reading books. Most people, they feel like they're working hard or that they're moving towards a goal, and in reality, they're just moving around doing nothing. If someone is working on some digital content, as far as maybe social media or something like that, yes, they're on maybe Facebook, YouTube, whatever, but they spend time clicking around, getting distracted. Or if you are trying to make phone calls and maybe you spend time texting other people not related to work, and conversations get carried away, going back to their expectations as far as being able to focus on getting results. So when it comes to marketing, whatever information that you're putting out there in the world, are you getting a return from it? And some people, again, they're thinking of, I just want to make this much money. What they aren't doing is coming up with daily goals, weekly goal, monthly, yearly, as a way to track their progress. So what happens is a lot of their effort is used as a shotgun approach, and nothing becomes effective, and they're spinning their wheels, not getting any results, and they don't get sales, they end up quitting, and they go back to their regular job, and they feel that their time was wasted. And the last mistake that most agents do is they burn themselves out mentally. You know, everyone wants to strive for perfection when you should be focusing on progress. As long as you are consistently getting better every day, that's all that matters. When new products come out, they'll do an initial launch. Nothing's perfect. You're gonna have issues with it, customer complaints, and based on that, they can craft it and redefine it into making a better product or a better service, whatever it might be. They think about doing something perfect before actually taking action. I do the same exact thing, and I do stress myself out more than I should when it's in this game. It's you need to take your emotions and maybe thought process out of it and just go through the daily actions, and you're gonna find better results with it. For example, we'll say making phone calls. A lot of people don't like making phone calls, and they get too caught up in their head with how am I gonna sound? What if they're not interested? What if they get mad? And of course, that's gonna happen. But really, and all the thinking happens before they even dial the phone. What you should do is just start dialing the phone, take a deep breath, wait till they answer, go ahead and give your introduction, and see what they say. Because maybe 9 times out of 10, they're looking for someone to talk to. And when you come off as a sales representative, most people's actions are, they're gonna say not interested. And so from there, you've already identified, hey, I'm a salesperson looking to sell you something. And that's not the case. So for example, you wanna make sure that you are calm, talking to the person, whether in person or on the phone. Let them know that you're a regular person and that you're just trying to see if they're in the market. And you don't need to do any quick talking, special sales psychology, nothing like that. Really, just tell them who you are, what you want, if they're interested. If they're not interested, what can you do to get them in the market? If they're not ready, schedule a follow-up day and time to get back to them and give them a call and do the process over. That's it. Don't think too much on what they think about you. You can't see them. They're probably not going to, if they don't like what you have to say, they're probably gonna hang up, not interested, click, done. Erase everything that happened and just make the next phone call. So that's kind of it. So don't be scared or fooled that the worst is gonna happen if it hasn't happened yet. And again, when it comes to sales or customer interaction or anything like that, just go ahead and take it step by step. Again, make your introduction, talk to them, listen to what they have to say, react, and move to the next step or process. That's it. Hey, thank you guys for watching my video today. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button below and let me know in the comments what you'd like me to talk about in future videos. All right? Thank you guys.
Wicked a weakness. You gotta see this.